So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, thou shalt hear the word of my mouth, and warn them from me.
Have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them.
Coming to you from an undisclosed location in Middle Tennessee and examining current events from a biblical perspective, this is Bible News Radio with your hosts, Randall and Stacy Harp.
Hey everybody, I want to welcome you to this episode of Bible News Radio. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm really glad that you're here with us. And, yeah, there we are, okay. Alright, sorry we're a little bit late. Our guest is AWOL. We don't know where he went. That we had. So hopefully we'll be able to book him in the future, but that's why we're late, because we were waiting for our guest. He was supposed to be on and we knew it. He knew it, and I don't know. So hopefully everything is okay. So we decided we would come on and we would talk about the news instead. And today actually is a very interesting news days, you guys. Yeah, it is. And also today is my friend Vicky's birthday. Vicky Hankey. It's her birthday. She's a pillar of our community and really good friend of the show, a good friend of mine. So Vicky, if you watch this show, just so you know, happy birthday, girlfriend. Glad that you are part of our community, and I hope that you have an awesome day. Just so you know. Okay, so if you're joining us on Facebook, please leave a comment so I can see it, see that you're here. And if you want, you can share it out. Thank you guys for coming in on Periscope. I see a couple of you, Melanie and Mia, and is it Chanel or Channel? Channel Row? Chanel. Sharon is there. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a couple of people who have been watching on YouTube, so if you are, feel free to share it out, let us know. And of course, I want to thank my beloved Bareface, Mr. Harp. Yeah, it is his name.
But it's not my real name. One of them is, but
one
of them is not.
Yeah,
you can probably guess which is which.
Yeah, for producing the show. Yeah, he is. He rocks. Randall Pandle Bareface is awesome. Yeah, he is.
Well, Stacy is the producer. I'm more the engineer.
I guess technically that's true.
As it says here beneath my name. I'm the co-host and AV guy, as in audio-visual, so
yeah,
that's what that's about.
And there is Shannon there on Facebook. Hey, thank you for letting me see that you're there, Shannon. Nice to see you. Glad you're here. So we literally had a change of plans, literally like 2 minutes ago. So this is going to be more of a free-for-all Wednesday show.
Wednesday, isn't it?
Yeah, because I actually, our guest, Michael Anthony, he wrote a really good book. It's called A Call to Courage. And I actually literally spent a couple hours this afternoon reading the whole book. I was so excited about doing this interview. And now I'm worried about him because I don't know where he is, which is a bummer. But hopefully we'll get him on the show after we find out what happened to him. So you guys will get to see him, because this book, A Call to Courage, in fact, wait, here it is right here.
Wait for it.
This book right here. This book, if I was doing a book club, people, this book would be the book. This book, honestly, would be the book to get, because this book is so in line with what we do here on this show that I wholeheartedly don't recommend most books, as you know. I interview a lot of authors. I love the books, but this one for sure, A Call to Courage, you definitely need to get it. Definitely need to get this book. In fact, if you go over to, let's see here, if you go over to couragematters.com, you can learn more about Michael and learn more about this book. So hopefully we'll be able to book him in the future, and hopefully everything is okay. So as of a couple hours ago, it was. So yeah, sometimes stuff happens. But the good news is that now, because we're not doing an interview today, are we doing an interview tomorrow? Yes, tomorrow. You know who our guest is tomorrow, Bareface? Do you?
No, I do not know.
A pillar of our community.
Really?
Yep, Cheryl Chumley.
Oh, well, cool.
Yep, Cheryl's going to be on our show tomorrow, so she won't miss for sure. I know she
Yeah,
rocks.
she's always fun. Well, unless something happens,
Yeah.
God forbid.
God forbid. Well, it could be his will.
Yeah, but I do pray that he would forbid it.
Yeah, me too. At least until after she's on our show.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. How do you talk about that, right? Well, I hope you die after you're on our show. No, I don't want you to die. Okay. All right. So, in all seriousness, okay. So, first thing I want to do is I want to let you know that if you go over to BibleNewsRadio.com, go over there, sign up for my email, because my email, you guys, has lots of good stuff in it. And this morning, I wrote about the death of Stephen Hawking. Okay. I read this morning. Sadly, I read this because, because it was trending on Twitter that Stephen Hawking died. If you don't know who he was a cosmologist and a physicist who was very well known. He had Lou Gehrig's disease, also known as ALS. He lived to be 76 years old, and he was an outspoken atheist. And so I took the time this morning to read, to write in my email a couple of things. And I'm not going to bring up my email right now, but instead I'm going to bring up his Wikipedia page, because I want to read you a couple of things that he said. And I'm bringing this up because as the days get darker and darker, excuse me, in our culture, even though we just had daylight savings time and it's actually lighter outside. Anyway, as the days get darker spiritually, and the enemy of our souls decides he's going to come in and try to whop us and everything, I'm convinced more than ever that our number one job here on earth, is to share the gospel of Jesus Christ. That's the number one job. And frankly, most of us aren't doing it, okay? And the church doesn't, at least the church in America, doesn't quite fit the bill. Earlier this week, I got a video. I got an opportunity to promote a music video, a country music video. I'm not going to say the name of what it is or who it was, but what I will say is that the woman purports to be a Christian. Her parents are Christian, very famous Christians. The title of the song has alcohol in the drink, and a line in the song says that she has a heart for Jesus, and she has a heart for Jesus, but then she's wearing a long shirt that goes beneath her waist and above her knees with no pants on when she's dancing around in the kitchen. And then it shows her in a bar doing shots, okay? Now, Randall and I, we were debating whether or not we want to have this lady on our show. I kind of sort of want to, just to say, what's the deal with your video here? I know you're a country musician thingy, but at the same time, you're saying in the song that you have a heart for Jesus, but you're depicting, shots drinking down, at the bar, and it's extremely alluring too.
Well, everybody has a heart for Jesus.
Okay, do they?
Yeah, I mean, there's a heart fit for him. I mean,
okay.
As the old hymn goes, let every heart prepare him room.
Anyway. My point is that,
yeah, I know.
If this is how Christianity is being depicted in country music these days, then we really need to have revival, which is why I'm really bummed out that our guest didn't come on first. I don't know why, but we really do. I mean, Christians really need to really begin to be Christians and actually be bold in our faith, stand up, actually share the gospel, because it's appointed unto man once to die. After that, the judgment. And here's the thing: don't be mocked. God isn't mocked, right? God is not mocked. And what's interesting to me is that it's so easy to play church. I live in Tennessee. I'm going to tell you, a lot of people play church. Okay, practically everybody I know is a Christian, but I don't know how many are actually disciples, and I'm not judging. I'm just looking at whatever the fruit is. So bringing this back to the death of Stephen Hawking, and I see Denise joined. Hi, Denise. The death of Stephen Hawking is really, really sad because He was an avowed atheist. And according to Wikipedia, I'm going to read you one of the comments here under Wikipedia, what it says here. It says, Hawking stated that he was not religious in the normal sense and that he believed that the universe is governed by the laws of science. Okay? Hawking stated, there's a fundamental difference between religion, which is based on authority, and science, which is based on observation and reason. Science will win because it works. Now, so basically he's saying essentially that with religion, there's no reason. But then he says here, in 2008, Hawking stated the laws may have been decreed by God, but God does not intervene to break the laws. In an interview published in The Guardian, Hawking regarded the concept of heaven as a myth, believing that there is no heaven or afterlife, and that such a notion was a fairy story for people afraid of the dark. In 2011, when narrating the first episode of the American TV series Curiosity on the Discovery Channel, Hawking declared, "We are each free to believe what we want, and it is my view that the simplest explanation is there is no God. No one created the universe, and no one directs our fate. This leads me to a profound realization. There is probably no heaven and no afterlife either. We have this one life to appreciate the grand design of the universe, and for that I am extremely grateful." Then, in September 2014, he joined the Starmus Festival as a keynote speaker, and he declared himself an atheist. In an interview with El Mundo, he commented, "Before we understand science, it is natural to believe that God created the universe, but now science offers a more convincing explanation. What I meant by we would know the mind of God is we would know everything that God would know if there were a God, which there isn't. I am an atheist." So as the Christian apologist in me was looking at this and going, it's interesting because we have one of the most brilliant scientific minds out there, right? And Stephen Hawking. Everybody in the field of cosmology, and what else was it that he was? I'm trying to physics. I think he was a physicist of some type.
Especially theoretical physics.
Okay, so
dealing with
So he was just a super smart brainiac, right? And yet the Bible says in Psalm 14 verse 1, the fool has said in his heart, there is no God. You know what I mean? So if the Bible says that the fool has said in his heart there is no God, and Stephen Hawking says there's no God, he is a complete fool. And now he is in an eternity sorely separated from Christ. After all, he denied Christ in this life, so why would he want to be with Christ in the afterlife, which he didn't believe existed anyway? And so this is sad because in Psalms, I forgot which one it is. I think it's 116. It's in my email. But the Bible says that precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints. So to the Lord, when a Christian dies, that's awesome because he's like, yay, welcome home. Like Billy Graham, okay? Everybody in the world was super excited when Billy Graham went home to be with the Lord. I can't say super excited, but you know what I mean. Nobody was going, except some weird fringe haters, was going, oh my gosh, Billy Graham, blah, 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 I can't believe. They were all like, yay, he was such a good man. He was a humble man. Billy Graham rocked. The whole world loved Billy Graham. But Stephen Hawking, it's most likely in hell. And for a Christian person like me to say that, instantly what comes to my mind is somebody go, you're judgmental. Yeah, you are. You're a judgmental hater. That's what you are. Who do you think you are? And yet at the same time, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense because if I as a Christian believe, and I want you to hear this, okay? Pay attention. If I, as a Christian, believe in the afterlife, and I believe the only way to heaven is through Jesus Christ, right? And this guy blatantly disregarded Christ and rejected him, like Oprah Winfrey does, by the way. She says there's more than one path to God. If you reject Christ when he said in John 14, verse 6, I am the way, the truth, and the life, no one comes to the Father but by me. If you reject that, then the alternative is hell, which is laid out throughout Scripture, right? And that's sad. God gives us free will to make this choice. And this was the interesting thing that I saw on Twitter. I actually saw a lot of people who were tweeting, and I think a lot of them were Catholic. They were tweeting stuff like, "May God have mercy on Stephen Hawking's soul. Let's pray for Stephen Hawking's soul. May God, give him peace, and may God do this." And I'm like, and I understand the compassion and the sentiment, and believe me, I have a lot of compassion, because if he is in hell, that's horrible. Just like all the other people who died today, they went into a Christless eternity, where it says that there's weeping and gnashing of teeth, where the fire is never quenched, and, it's a place of darkness and weeping and mourning and, all that stuff. It's a horrible place to spend the eternity without Christ, okay? But for somebody like me, if I really believe this, if I really believe that when people die, they go to hell, then we should get off our butts and begin telling people the truth, whether or not they reject us or not. We need to start telling the truth about that, right? Can I get an amen? Can I? Because, look, do you realize, okay, I'm going to get on my soapbox. Do you realize that when we don't share the gospel truth, and I literally mean that, right? When we actually don't share the gospel truth, it leads people to an eternity without Christ. See, our default position when we're born is we're on our way to hell. God is so gracious that he allows us to make the choice to learn who Christ is and to follow him. True story, And then we get that opportunity, And here's the sad part. The sad part is every time somebody dies without Christ, the devil wins. And of course there's this big debate. Is the devil real? Does he really exist? What the heck do you think? Let me ask you this. Why do you think that Jesus is such a stumbling block and offense to so many people? Why do you think Jesus is the only religious figure in the history of mankind to be vilified and crucified? Literally. A couple of days ago, I read this article called, it was talking about a man named, quote, Jesus Christianity, right? And in my email I sent out to my subscribers, I did this on Bullhorn too. I raised the point. I said, how many people have you ever known to name themselves Allah Muhammad and then go threaten to blow up a gay pride parade? And if they had done that, do you think there would be news media about it? And do you think that Muhammad, Allah, or let's say even Joseph Smith of the Mormon Church, who is, known to be a liar and a con artist, let's say somebody named themselves Allah, Joseph Smith, Muhammad, and they decided to take that as their name and all that. Do you think that the followers of the LDS Church, Mormonism, the followers of Islam, or the followers of any other religion with a religious figure like that, do you think that they would be instantly vilified if somebody did that? No, because the media does not do that. It's only Christians that are vilified. And the interesting thing to me is that Jesus Christianity, this guy's name, never claims to be a Christian. And yet instantly you have that negative push of Christians. And so it drives me crazy, because when when real Christians stand up for what we really believe in the Bible, then we're smacked down, right? It's a true story. We're totally smacked down. But if we go ahead and say somebody like Stephen Hawking went to hell today because that's what he chose, okay, then we're vilified and go, well, you're a hater, you're a bigot, you're this, you're that, you're intolerant, you're judgmental, blah, blah. But I'm sharing the gospel. That's all I'm sharing. I didn't say anything negative about him. I just said, according to his actions, his own testimony, he doesn't believe in God. But if he's dead and what I believe is true, and I think it is, to the core of my being, I would die for my belief. I think that he's where he wanted to go. Okay, that's all I'm going to say.
I was going to say that the ever-sensitive mainstream media will be quick to point out that, oh, this terrorist, this Islamic terrorist, does not represent Islam. Islam is a religion of peace. They're radicals. They do not represent Islam whatsoever. Some guy named Jesus Christianity, who names himself Jesus Christianity, threatens to blow up a pride parade, and he's indicative of Christianity worldwide, because that's the way they all feel. They're all hateful bigots. And anyway,
Well, if and when I can get Michael Anthony on the show, the guy that wrote this book, he talks in this book about an encounter he had with a Muslim who was out publicly speaking, mocking Christians, and he actually stood up and started talking in this crowd. And anyway, I won't tell you what happens because I want him to come on and talk about it. But let's just say this: we as believers, we need to be strong in our faith. We need to be bold in our faith. Of course, speak it in love, right? I don't hate Stephen Hawking. I'm just making a point that I find it interesting that if you bring into play a person's religious beliefs on the day of their death, and it's evident that they didn't believe in God, and they actually say it. I just quoted his words. He called himself an atheist. According to my biblical worldview, he's in hell. But to state that in our culture is so antithetical because everybody believes you go to heaven, regardless. And that's just not true. Not everybody goes to heaven, right? I mean, according to my Bible, which I actually read. Anyway, so, and today is National Pie Day, and I think Randall's going to talk about that. Hi, John. By the way, today's Einstein's birthday, too. That's interesting. Did I read that somewhere? Okay, there's Carol is in, Bob came in, Jack, Alan, Ruth, I don't know how to say that, sorry. Helen Nunez is here. I don't know if you're still here, but if you are, hi. Yeah, I think I said hi to everybody. Okay. Yes, all 5 people that came in. So you want to talk about National Pie Day, what that's about?
I don't have much to say. It's because this is March the 14th, or in decimal speaking, it was 314, 314.
Why did you hashtag the show National Pie? Was this clickbait?
Well,
yeah, it was. Just admit it.
Because it is National Pie Day. Because I mentioned it was National Pie Day, and you said, interesting that Stephen Hawking on all days died on National Pie Day.
He did. Don't you think that's ironic?
Well, I mean, we just call it other people call it National Pie Day because 314 resembles the decimal value of what we call pi, which is a mathematical term of sort of Anglo pronunciation, the Greek letter P.
Right.
Anyway, which is the ratio of the diameter of a circle to its circumference, or its circumference to the diameter. Anyway, the circumference of a circle is 3.1415927, something like that, and so many, non-ending trail of decimal places.
Eat pie and be happy. That's what Artful Stampin' said. By the way, that's a cool name. I like that name.
Yeah. Anyway, so pi, as they call it in mathematics, represented by the Greek letter P, stands for that ratio of a circle's diameter to its circumference, and very, very useful in geometry and trigonometry and that kind of thing. I mean, well, yeah.
Who actually uses that?
Who uses what?
Trigonometry and geometry and stuff. I don't. I've never used it.
Architects and...
Actually, I didn't even do trigonometry.
Yeah,
I got through college, 6 years of college without doing that.
Trigonometry, of course, it's about trigons, i.e. triangles, but...
Okay.
All of its functions are based on circles. Whether we get the sine or cosine or tangent, it's the relation of. Anyway.
This is putting you to sleep. This is kind of putting me to sleep.
So that's what it's all about.
Gotcha.
So 314 is reminiscent of the decimal value of
pi. Is very useful.
Pi, represented by the Greek letter P. So.
Well, can you tell everybody about the article that you found about the dinosaur being skinned alive or whatever? The dinosaur has skin.
Well,
right?
Yeah, this goes back a little bit. I'm going to start with a more recent article published in World Net Daily last month.
Okay.
And then go from there.
Gentlemen, Randall Pantle Bareface is going to talk about dinosaurs. Yeah, he is.
All right. Well, WorldNet Daily published this article last month. One Big Dinosaur Party or Evidence of the Flood, and it talks about this.
Your comments are funny, Melanie.
You can see here this picture from NASA Goddard Space Flight Center.
Okay.
It's a portion of rock slabs showing animal tracks. Anyway, this slab shows both the footprints of both dinosaurs and mammals, and it's by far the highest concentration of mammal tracks, as well as large mammal tracks ever discovered from the dinosaur age. Until now, scientists have only unearthed rodent-sized mammal prints from that period. So we have in this rock slab are both large mammals and large dinosaurs, small dinosaurs too. And so there's nearly 70 tracks from 8 species on this 8 by 3 feet slab of rock. And so there's all this question about, well, how were these tracks preserved, millions of years apart? Because we've got the large mammals with large and small dinosaurs, footprints. It's not like we're not talking fossilized remains of skeletons or anything. It's footprints. I mean, I don't know when the last time you left footprints in the mud or something like that, and how long how long you could go back, how many days, months, years later, and find footprints in the mud, whatever. There's rain, there's all kinds of weather conditions, contraction and expansion of the soil, whatever.
Shannon says she's lost.
Oh.
I think you lost our listeners. Put a 1 if you're lost. I mean that, like, not in the biblical sense. Put a 1 if you're going to hell right now, okay? Just say, just say no.
But once you're proud, no.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi, person saying hello. I don't know if you're a bot or if you're really a person, but whatever. If you're a bot, then at least we said hi back.
So anyway, long story short, there's a slab of rock with all these footprints in it from both mammals and dinosaurs. Footprints usually don't last long, and the ones that are preserved are ones that were quickly covered with sediment. The footprints left in the mud. It has to be a soft surface. No animals walking on hot lava because their feet would burn off, right? So they walk on mud, leave a footprint, and then shortly thereafter, before there's another rainstorm or, ice age or whatever ground contracts, those prints are covered over with other earth. All right? And then that is slowly replaced by minerals, that kind of thing. Anyway, so obviously something with footprints is earth that was covered over soon after the footprints were left. You can't go to the beach and see the footprints you left there last summer,
True.
They get washed away. You probably can't even go to the forest and see the footprints you left there last year, or last spring, or last week, because the rains come, whatever.
Shannon says she's okay now. It was the pie thing. I gotcha.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, this is 314.
The dinosaur thing makes sense to me now.
Anyway, so here,
know.
Previously thought, well, mammals and dinosaurs don't overlap. They're, millions of years apart. There's 70 some footprints from 70 some species in this slab of rock, both mammals and dinosaurs. It seems like they probably inhabited the same age. And so that kind of really throws things off as far as the geological time frame. Anyway, I'm just going to read a little bit from the article because it's a little more concise than I've been. So.
Okay. Yeah, somebody here is saying, well, Dr. John says he likes apple pie. And then the other guy says that I take it you don't believe in science. Nope. That's actually inaccurate.
Yeah.
Completely inaccurate. I believe science is valid. I believe it's a God-given, that he gives people the ability to think scientifically. However, I will say this, and maybe call me a girl, because I am one, obviously. I declare I'm female, just so you know.
Yes, I confirm that. She identifies as female.
I have
internally and
never-
externally.
I have never
Biologically.
seen the scientific method actually tested scientifically.
Certainly.
Yeah, I just said that. So if you can actually show me the scientific method actually tested scientifically, then that would be like actually super cool.
And that's what science is. It's a method. It's not a...
Exactly. You know, my master's degree is a master's degree in clinical psychology, but it's a master's of science degree. My bachelor's degree is a bachelor's of science degree.
Mine
My
too.
associate's degree is an associate of science degree. So I have 3 degrees that have S at the end of them,
Yeah.
just so you know.
Now, science is a religion.
No.
I'm not into that. One that presupposes the supernatural, that rejects creation, etc. Then that science is a religion, not science is a method. Anyway, to this article.
Go ahead.
As I was mentioning, footprints get obliterated after more than a few hours exposure unless sediment quickly covers them.
True.
The preservation of these tracks indicates the animals made them in a very short period of time, an hour or so at most, he said. And they're talking about a particular scientist, of all things. It also indicates that rapidly moving water, like the surging waters of a large flood, covered the sediment very quickly. The non-overlapping prints and evidence of many mammals sat on their haunches suggests a snelling that the animals gathered on the rock at the same time without concern about potential predators. Chances are these animals probably spent some time either waiting or being carried along in the water, and then the level dropped so they could put their feet down to get a rest and catch their breath. So what, you know, I mean, that seems to fit the, you know, the evidence. It's something that it's a theory that supports the evidence. I mean, obviously footprints are preserved, sediment covered them quickly. So, and it doesn't look like anybody was being chased. And he was, you know, concerned about, they weren't footprints from running. They're not running footprints, kicking that material, running from a predator, stuff like that. They're touching down on the, so, you know, a good explanation was there for these prints is all of these animals were in the water and at times would touch down on the clay or, you know, mud bed, and maybe trying to get a breath when they could. You know, what kind of situation would explain all that? You know, bunch of animals, normally not together, all together, rapidly moving water, and, you know, and trying to catch the breath. I don't know, something like a widespread global flood, maybe. Just
Maybe.
thinking out loud.
All right.
And anyway, all right, I wanted to touch on these others. Wow, I don't have a whole lot of time. I'll just encourage you to look it up. A couple of the prints in this clay were...
How much time do we have?
Let's see. Well, we started about 10 after, so...
Because I have an article here. You guys will love this. Women belong in the kitchen according to Bible believers.
All right, so hold on. Let me just finish the thought here.
I'm going to talk about that in a minute.
All right, good.
Okay.
That sounds interesting. Anyway, some of the prints in this slab that were, you know, these fossilized prints that have been preserved are from an adult and a juvenile nodosaur. What's a nodosaur, you may ask? Well,
What's a nodosaur? I've never heard of a nodosaur. Is it a saur that takes notes?
N-O-D-O.
Oh.
Well, let me throw up...
Is it a saur that sings?
Here we can see a fossilized nodosaur here.
This is what happens when your guest doesn't show up. This is called rolling with the punches, okay?
Anyway, I think they had like an illustration in here.
That's
well,
funny.
I guess not.
So that's a nodosaur, huh?
Yeah.
Is that its head or a foot or
That's
what?
his head.
That's his head, huh?
I'm not showing. Let's see.
Is that his eyeball there? Wait, can't really see it. If you're listening to the podcast, you better come watch the replay. There's a professor here that gives talks on dinosaurs and how they prove God is real. I believe it.
Sure.
He's an ex-atheist. Is he really? That's cool. So So is that
Anyway, so-
is that the eye right there?
Okay, yeah, I got my pointer now showing on the screen.
Okay,
So this would,
see it.
well, we're seeing, anyway, I'm circling around the eye and then the nose here.
I'm not seeing. Oh, there you are. Okay, now I'm seeing it. Okay, so that is the eye.
This is the head, and
Wow.
then the spines across its back and its shoulders.
Welcome to biology class, people.
Anything. Anyway, this whole notosaur was, no, I need to get rid of that. Whoops,
He's
sorry.
kind of an ugly little thing, isn't he?
Yeah.
He looks like a rock.
Well, it is. I mean, because it's just minerals. It's fossilized. But here is this
Oh, that's funny.
herbivore.
A dinosaur that eats plants.
Right.
I know that one. Yeah, I do.
Intact. Generally believed to live along the coast or near river deltas. Okay. Here's this coastal herbivore, intact, discovered deep in the ground in Alberta, Canada,
Up in John's area.
by a miner. I think it was
By a miner, like MINOR.
MINER, miner.
I know.
The Alberta.
I was gonna say, how old was he?
Anyway, under the Alberta tar sands in 2011.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so, I mean, so marvelously preserved that you can see the scales on the skin, and
Yeah, we could.
and you know, a layer of keratin and stuff like that. So
And
it's-
he had a face only that a mom could love.
right. and
I thought that was
apparently,
funny. Come on, that was funny.
its last meal in its stomach
Really?
fossilized everything.
Ooh, the last meal. Do they know what it was?
Some kind of plant.
A plant.
So anyway, so how does this thing, you know, they figure, well, maybe this is under the tar sands is an ancient seabed. It's like, okay, well, if this was the sea under the Alberta tar sands right now, you know, this thing was coastal and now is way inland, Alberta. You can't get much more inland than that. And apparently an ancient seabed. Okay, so
John says now he's part of our black gold.
yeah. Yep.
I just got a message from our guest. He said he had a church emergency and was unable to join. He's terribly sorry.
Oh,
And he wants to
schedule.
reschedule.
Well, good.
And yeah, anyway. Okay, good. So
Glad that he's all right.
at least he's okay. So
Yeah.
that's cool. I will definitely reschedule him because the book is really good. I want you guys to get it.
Anyway, so you know the you know sort of prevailing thought is this thing existed 110 million years ago.
Only 110 million years
Yeah,
ago?
and so you know the age of the dinosaur. So it raises the question. Okay, maybe the Earth shifted, whatever, and continents shifted. There used to be Pangea and all this stuff, and all this, you know, all this big, massive land shifts happen, whatever. Okay, this thing used to be in the seabed, now it's greatly inland. Okay, if that's the case, isn't it amazing that over 110 million years, this thing was undisturbed long enough for that fossilization process to take place with all this land movement, all this violent kind of stuff, millions of years. This thing sits there, and last meal and all, you know, before it all decays and all that, is replaced with minerals. You know, it fossilizes. So the question is, well, how did this happen? How did it survive the 110 million years? And so they're, you know, kind of searching really hard to come up with all these geological ideas of how this thing would be so whole. It's a whole fossil after 110 million years. Well, I've got a crazy idea. Why don't we just kind of shelf the idea right now of 110 million years, you know? Maybe it hasn't been 110 million years.
Hello, Eric and Joel. Thanks for coming in.
Maybe it's a matter of thousands, not millions of years. And anyway, I mean, I'm not going to get into the gap theory and all that kind of stuff. And
That'd be good because we don't have time for that.
yeah, I know.
That may
but
take a million years.
It might. But anyway, just things to consider when science, which is ever changing, throws out things like, 50 million years ago, 70 million, 110, 200 million years ago. I mean, those are wild guesses. I mean, just
I'm waiting for Randall to finish.
Anyway, just food for thought.
Hey,
I'll be quiet now.
We have a super heart.
Woohoo!
Somebody's throwing money at us right now. Bible News Radio is getting richer by the minute. Yeah, we are. All right, so I want to read this article, but of course we got to thank our sponsors. Okay, Ariel Ministries. If you go to ARIEL, Ariel, which means Lion of God, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, it does. Anyway, if you go there, you can use the coupon code, or is it coupon? It's coupon, people. Yeah, it is. Bible News. You can use that. Put on one if you guys have ever bought something from Ariel Ministries, because I'm curious, because, they've been sponsoring our show for like a year, and I think it's super cool. And there's Paul. Hey, Paul, thanks for joining us on Facebook. Anyway, if you guys, have supported Ariel, I just want to say thank you for, getting yourself some good Bible resources. And don't forget, if you go over to our website, BibleNewsRadio.com, go to our resources page. There's a whole bunch of stuff from Model Balston, the Messianic Bible teacher, that we have on, who actually got all his training, a lot of it, from Dr. Arnold Fruchtenbaum, who is the founder of Ariel Ministries. Okay, just so you know. And also on that resources page, we have this month's Bible study. It's 42 pages. It's free, and it's on demonology that Dr. Fruchtenbaum put together. It's excellent. Just click the link. You don't even have to put in your email. Just click it, download it on your computer, and read it, because it's super good. All right. And while you're on the resources page, you'll also see a little icon there for Bullhorn, the mobile app, which is a brand new mobile app. I'm a brand ambassador for them. They graciously have offered me that opportunity. And so this is actually an app that's run, the people behind it are freeconferencecall.com. Every single morning I'm putting something on there. I'm keeping it short, like I'm trying to keep it under 15 minutes. I'm averaging about 10 minutes a thing where I give you a little bit of background commentary, sometimes some humor. I don't know. It depends on what you think is funny. But anyway, if you go to Bullhorn, getbullhorn.com, or just go to your app store, look for Bullhorn. Follow me at Bible News Radio, Stacy Lynn Harp, on that. That would totally be cool. And then you can listen to me even more, because you want to. Yeah, you do. Just kidding. You might not want to. It sounds like some the theoretical false doctorate. The bear up there is in Periscope. You don't get that in Canada? Oh, you can't download it? Well, that's a bummer. Well, move to America, John. Just kidding. Also, I want to thank our pillars of the community for helping to underwrite what we do. Some of you, all of our pillars donate to the show, but we need more. So if you want to become a pillar of the community, you like our show, if you like me, you love Bareface, then feel free to become a pillar. You can learn more about how to do that on our website there. We ask that you commit to donating $25 a month, and preferably set up a recurring payment through PayPal, because that actually helps me to be able to budget stuff. You know what I'm saying? Go to BibleNewsRadio.com/give, or is that on the resources page? No, it's on Give, right?
Yes.
Yeah, on our new website. Okay. Yeah, thank you guys for doing that. And if you don't want to become a pillar, you can still be a pebble by just donating whatever, just so you know. You can be a pillar or a pebble. Or you could just throw a pebble at me right now for calling you a pebble. I'm going to duck. Wait. You can't hit me. No. I was actually talking to somebody earlier today, because I was booking their guest for the show. And I said, do you think you met me? And they're like, I said at NRB, and they're like, oh, I'm not sure. I said, trust me, you would know me because of this hair of mine. Jamie Grace recognized me in Los Angeles, and neither one of us lived there at the time. So anyway, That was really funny. By the way, did you guys know Jamie Grace is getting married? She's getting married in a couple of weeks. She's having a public...
Yeah, she is.
She's having a public wedding. She's getting married to a young man named Aaron Collins. And she's literally inviting the public to her wedding, just so you know.
I don't envy traffic control, police, or whatever they're going to do.
If it wasn't like 7 hours away from us drive time, I would probably go to it if it was closer. But
I still think that thousands are going to try to show up for that.
that's so awesome, though, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's this article. I just brought this up, okay? This is over on the Montclair.org. And this was published today. So, okay, it says this: women belong in the kitchen according to Bible believers. Okay. First of all, I have a question for all you guys. If you're a Bible believer, do you believe women belong in the kitchen? Go ahead, put a 5. Yeah, put a 5 if you believe us women belong in the kitchen. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll wait for the answers. In the meantime, there's this, I'll read the article. An organization called the Bible Believers antagonized students while preaching their views at the Student Center Quad and later in front of Alexander Kasser Theater on Wednesday afternoon. That would have been today, by the way. The Bible Believers were out in full force. According to Captain Kieran Barrett, the group of about 5 non-students were on campus trying to bait students into verbal arguments with signs saying women belong in the kitchen and sweaters that had "Fear God" written on them. The Bible Believers, originally from Philadelphia of all places, travel to various colleges and universities on the East Coast. Their goal is to spread their faith and make students repent their sins. Yeah, they are. They're out being evangelists for God. Oh, we love students, says Pastor Lowell Loello, a member of the group who declined to give his last name. Huh? Okay, whatever. We are warning them about hell to come because of their sins, and Jesus is the answer. People should read the Bible and stop sinning. I agree with that. I think people should read the Bible and stop sinning. It's hard to stop sinning, just so you know. It's not easy. But anyway, it says here, students were seen visually upset with the comments of the organization. Several of the female students were angry and offended by their views on rape and a woman's place in society. Other students were enraged by their homophobic comments. Now, this could be, I have no idea what these people said, but this is interesting. I think it is wrong that other people try to force their religion on other people because not everyone is Christian or has the same love of Christianity, said sophomore English major Admiral somebody. His name is spelled Ozochiawaeze. However you say that. You try it. Just saying.
Was it Shawazi?
Yeah. And to blame victims about rape is blasphemy, in my opinion. It is just infuriating. It's kind of funny to yell back, but I don't know how that makes us look. Well, it makes you look stupid. Just the University Police Department kept students a few feet away from the demonstrators as they protested and created a circle around the group. The organization preached their various opinions on topics of women, LGBTQ people, and even different religions. According to my understanding, the Bible Believers came to discuss issues from the Bible, and they have a right to do so, Barrett said. Therefore, we are here to make sure that the people at this university are kept safe and that they have their constitutional right to discuss things. A few students led a counter-protest to drown out the message of the Bible Believers. While many students were displeased with the protests displayed by the organization, they agreed that everyone had the right to express their own opinions and belief. So much of the things he is talking about is not in accordance with the Christian mission or Christian philosophy that I was exposed to, said junior political science major Bo DePaul. Part of me is having a little bit of fun, and another part of me really hates hypocrisy, but he is engaging his free speech, and so am I. Junior humanities major A.J. Nichols, who stood in front of the group and chanted back responses, wanted everyone to know that Montclair State's views were separate from this organization. Honestly, this demonstration is not what this community stands for, Nichols said. The fact that we're all coming together to speak against this kind of hate is powerful and important. Spread love. That is all we need on this campus. There you go. So, of course, this was written by somebody, and there is a picture of a young kid, it looks like, who's holding a sign that said "Women belong in the kitchen." He has a hat on that says "Fear God," and apparently, and then it looks like there's a sign that says "Why are you so intolerant?" on it. And then it says Jesus or hellfire, true love warns. You know what this group reminds me of? This reminds me of the Fred Phelps cult, GodHatesFags.com group.
Yeah, there's a
where
there's URL on the signs. I'm going to go over there while
See, this is what drives me crazy. Because this is what the media looks like. This is what all Christians are like. And I got done talking about hell at the beginning of the show, didn't I? But I oppose women belonging in the kitchen, people. As a Bible-believing Christian, nowhere in the Bible does it say women belong in the kitchen.
So you think women should be kept out of the kitchen? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're trying to say? That women have no place in a kitchen?
Not in our house. Hey, men cook better than women, in my opinion. Unless you're Mrs. Robertson. Kay Robertson. She cooks really good.
Betty Crocker?
Betty Crocker. Little Debbie. Paula Deen. That woman who became very famous for cooking, and I can't think of her name. Oh, you know, she lit stuff on fire. What was her name? Oh, come on. Now I'm having a mind melt here. What is... Come on, who's that famous
The former spy? Julia Child.
Yeah, her. Julia Child. She belonged in the kitchen. In Russia somewhere. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't know. Yeah, I don't cook well. Julia, yes. Julia Child. Yeah. She belonged in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I don't think she was a Christian, though.
I don't know. But, you know, it's funny. I saw the Saturday Night Live skit with Dan Aykroyd back in the 80s, I guess it would have. Maybe it would have been 70s. I don't know. I'm an old guy, you know.
I know.
Anyway, he did this spoof of Julia Child. Is it Julia Child or Childs?
I think it's Child.
Anyway, and did this spoof, you know, where she cuts her finger and it bleeds, and I just didn't get it. But then
you watched her.
I watched her, and oh my goodness, it was funny because she was making some sort of a pie and had a pie crust in a glass pan and put it, and then it was time to brown the crust in advance. So she did that with a butane torch, and we lit that up, and then when a butane torch, you know, it's on, it's like a bright blue flame if it's burning. And
that's hot.
Anyway,
anything called a torch is generally hot.
Anyway, so with the studio lights on, I guess she couldn't see the flame, and she's like, "Is this on?" And she puts her hand in front of it and puts her hand behind her back real fast. And oh my, that's hot! And probably just blistered her fingers. It was. Anyway, so, and then she went through the rest of her routine putting this thing together with one hand behind her back. Anyway.
But where does it say women belong in the kitchen in the Bible?
It does not.
I knew it.
No, it doesn't. But, you know, interesting. I hit the website.
Yeah.
The URL, and it just comes with a completely blank page.
Meanwhile, you'll love this one. I got a press release today. It actually ended up in my spam. By the way, if you're on my email list, I want to tell you something. Check your spam folder just to make sure that my email's getting into your inbox.
Check your spam, people.
Yeah, if it's in your spam, it might be in spam because, you know, I have lots of people, but it's like all these people don't open. I'm crushed every time I send out an email and nobody opens it. Check your spam, by the way. But yeah, so in my spam folder today, because I check mine every day, because I get press releases in it all the time, I got a press release from these people who were calling themselves naked prophets. And I hate to even promote or mention them because it was so funny. So they're prophets, as in, I am a prophet of God. Anyway, So I thought, okay, I'll go look at their website because I like to laugh. So I went to the website because they're promoting some book, which I am not going to promote their dumb book. But I go to their website and they have a picture of themselves, the husband and the wife, completely naked on the website. And it didn't show the whole body. It just showed from from here up on both of them. But they were naked. And I'm like, oh my gosh. The crap that is like passing as Christianity today is like unbelievable. Unbelievable. And, I admire these people that are out there, trying to share the gospel, but somebody needs to train people how to share the gospel a little bit more better. That's why Bible News Radio exists, because we're so good at it. Not. No,
you mean prepared to give an answer with gentleness and respect?
Yeah. Well, that's why this book here, A Call for Courage, is a good book. You guys got to get this book. I got to get him on. I'm going to get him on. I don't know when, but we definitely need to get him on because it's such a good book. It is. Okay, so now we only have a few minutes left, so this is the time of the show where we'll answer your questions about anything we talked about or whatever. Maybe we'll just give you an answer for any question you ask. Is it biblical that men should make coffee? Hebrew,
yes.
Yeah, Hebrews, but Bareface, he doesn't drink coffee, actually.
No, I don't.
No.
I've tried it a few times, but just...
He likes coffee ice cream, though.
I do. I like a little bit of coffee with my cream. And sugar.
Oh, I actually am to the point
like
where
a teaspoon of coffee with my cup of cream and sugar.
I can actually drink coffee with a tablespoon of half and half. Yeah, I can. And if I have to, black. I can do it black. I don't like to, but I no longer use sugar in my coffee because sugar is evil. It's of the devil. Yeah, it is.
Where is that in Scripture?
It's It's not. So tomorrow, Cheryl Chumley is our guest. Cheryl is the author of Police State USA and as well as The Devil in D.C. She wrote that when Obama was in office, by the way. So she's not saying that Trump is the devil, just so you know. Some of my friends at Pickleball, they think he is.
Nor was she saying that Barack Hussein Obama was the devil either.
Yeah. Well, it's easier to believe that than Trump.
You.
Yeah. You hater. Yeah, you are. Anyway, she's great. Cheryl is awesome. She's outspoken. I love outspoken people. Yeah, I guess you guys have no questions, right? Really? No questions for us? The repeat bots are back. I know. I've been blocking them all. It's kind of cute how they repeat stuff and now they're adding emojis like the heart cat eyes there. That was sweet. I felt so loved just now. All right. So to recap the show, we talked about the death of Stephen Hawking and how he's an atheist and most likely in hell, according to my biblical beliefs. We talked about Pi Day and how exciting that is. Randall talked about a dinosaur leaving footprints and also this dinosaur that was left behind after gazillions of years and stuff.
Or not.
And you know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about how our lifespan today is super short compared to the time of Adam and Eve. Yeah. Have you thought about that? Okay.
Indeed.
Just for sake of argument. Okay, let's just say
930 years.
Yeah.
Well, compared to Methuselah, 969 years.
Okay. So it used to be that people would live a lot longer, right? Now we are
antediluvian days.
We are at the end of the days of the ages and stuff. And here's the thing. We might live, if we're lucky, to like 100, maybe, if we're lucky. Or let's say 80, just to be on the safe side. So if I'm almost 50 and you're over 50, you've already lived half your life if you live up to 80. That's a short life, man.
Mm-hmm.
So you better do something good with it. That's my motto. Yeah, it is. All right. Sorry, you guys. This show's been kind of all over, but, sometimes that's what happens. And so thank you for hanging in there with us. Yeah. I feel kind of like taking a nap. How many of you think we should ban daylight savings time?
Yeah, I'm one for sure.
Everybody I know hates daylight savings time. We all hate it. We hate it. We hate it. All of America should ban it. And, because I believe this is part of the reason that we're all the mess that we are. You know what I mean? It moves fast. What moves fast?
Life.
Life? Oh, yeah. Life does move fast. Unless you're my dad, he shuffles along, like really slow. Skull and Luby came on the show. And Archon 92 is here. Yeah, see, you guys, you agree, right? See, I think so. Down with daylight savings time. In fact, there was some big walkout today that made the news on Twitter. It's all over the place. And I think that was stupid. Toys R Us is trending. I don't know why. Oh, it says here Toys R Us will likely close all of its U.S. and U.K. stores.
Wow.
Jeffrey is dying? Jeffrey the Giraffe is going out of business? The world's biggest toy store is Toys R Us. The biggest collection, Toys R Us. I literally think I've been in Toys R Us maybe like one time in my whole life. DST. You like DST? Oh, you like daylight savings time? Well, that's okay. Does your wife like it? Your wife probably doesn't like it, huh? She probably doesn't like it. Susan Sarandon is trending on Twitter for some reason. National Student Walkout Day. Survivor Ghost Island. Survivor is on tonight. I know a couple people watching Survivor, just so you know. I seriously can't believe that show is still on the air. You get sunlight until 11 p.m. in the summer. Time to hit the going south of business sale. Out. Tim to hit the going south of business sale out. I don't get that. What you just said. Thanks, spell check.
Well, time to hit the going out of business.
Gotcha. Like Toys R Us, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
By the way, I was trying to find the verse, Psalm 90, verse 10. The days of our years are 80 years and 10, and if by reason of strength they be 80 years, yet in their strength labor and sorrow, for it is soon cut off, and we fly away.
That's in the Bible?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Psalm 90, verse 10. So the days of our years are 70 years. If by reason of strength they be 80, yet is their strength labor and sorrow, for it is soon cut off, and we fly away.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away. Are you trying to harmonize?
I was trying to, if you would. Yeah.
Right. What were you going to say? If I what? Huh? Hey, when I die.
Pick a key, any key.
I can't wait. Hold on. Wait.
Fly away.
Pick a key. Jeez, let's see.
Don't tell me which one it is. Just.
That's D.
Yeah.
Right? So, okay. I don't know how to play a song, though, on here.
It's a simple 1-4-5 song.
No.
Use a dominant 7th for the 5 chord.
What? I don't know. Hey, what's that song? Here we go. Now is the time to work. Oh, yeah, see? I haven't played my guitar in a long time, people.
Yeah.
Don't be judging, okay?
All right, can we
Do you know
stick
how
a
old
fork
this
in this
guitar,
thing?
this chorus? Okay. All right, well, hey, you do anything to entertain people. But seriously, if you don't know Christ, read the Bible and find him. You know what I'm saying? Or call Randall. He'll tell you he'll tell you about the Lord. And if he isn't around, I will. Yeah, I will. I might not be perfect at it, but just saying. All right. And join our email list at BibleNewsRadio.com. I see some of you in our chat room who are not on my email list. So, okay, you're not judging. You should judge. It's okay to judge. I wrote about it in my email. Anyway, okay, so we'll see you tomorrow. Cheryl Chumley is our guest tomorrow, and so it will be fun because she's hilarious. She's from New York, right? Pennsylvania? New Jersey. She's from somewhere. Anyway, we'll talk to her tomorrow. Okay, remember, be bold, stand up, and go with God because he loves you. And hopefully in a couple of days, we'll get Michael Anthony on our show, and we'll get him to talk about the book and all that. It'll be super fun. So, all right, you guys, thank you for everything that you do. We appreciate it a lot. Okay, all right. Hugs and kisses. There you go.